What's going on, guys? Rybomb Teacher in the house, and I am here with a very important GPL League Draw announcement. The groups have been made, and we're bringing those groups to you guys, and by that we are bringing the new Swansea Soul Blazers logo, which I think is an improvement on his old one, and of course the team and the commissioner of the league, Denistrio. How you doing, man?
Yo, what's going on? I'm doing good. Hope everyone else is doing good. Here with some important news. We're gonna have a good time.
Absolutely.
Season 3 video. It's gonna be good.
Of course. So, the way these groups are going to work is there are going to be two groups in two different league divisions. So we're going to have the Jodo-Ho League, which is made of the Lugia and the Ho-Oh divisions. And of course the Hoenn League, which is going to be made of Kyogre and Groudon divisions. The groups have been relatively balanced as well as we can based on performance of last season, as well as of course with the newcomers. We tried to put them in as fair a position as possible with the upper seeds and the lower seeds. So don't be too surprised if certain players might play against each other again. We did try and balance it so that we didn't have people in the same group. Originally, when we did put an original plot down, we had 4 people that were in the same group last season, so we've moved it around a little bit to try and balance it out as best as possible. So that's the way it's going to go. If you get somebody you didn't want in your group, that's the way the cookie crumbles, guys. Just got to deal with it, unfortunately. But let's get straight on into it with the Lugia division then. And the first member of the Lugia division is going to be a newcomer, Arvid, coach of the Big B Medals. Interesting logo to say the least. But yeah, Arvid is somebody I actually know relatively well from the ADL. He's not particularly mechanically a strong player, often makes a lot of really silly mistakes, and his team building is a little bit on the lesser strong side. But he can be a pretty good player. He can definitely pull some results out, but often he falls to his own inconsistency, and that's one of his biggest struggles. But he can be a good player. Whether he'll be able to make the transition into this league like Burger did last season, we'll have to see. I'm less convinced of this one than I am a Burger, if I'm honest. But Arvid has potential. You never quite know what you're going to get.
Yeah, I literally have no idea. I know nothing about this guy. Then again, last time I had no idea about someone, they came up and ended up getting to the playoffs, semifinals. So
yeah,
you know, I'm going to hold my tongue, see how this goes. I mean, who knows? Maybe he'll be that surprise pick, that wild card that just blasts through everyone, comes the new Transyl. But as you said, you've got some experience with him. That might not be the case, but hey, you never know. Looking forward to it. I always appreciate and enjoy seeing new players join the league. So
no, absolutely.
Good luck. Hope you have fun, and I hope you enjoy your group.
Yeah, I really hope you enjoy it, considering the next person in this group is going to be DJ, of course. DJ made the semi-finals last season and is a terrifying weather user. He masters weather really well. But what makes DJ even more of a threat is even though he drafts weather, he doesn't build an entire team around it. He can be just as strong in and out of weather. And with certain Pokemon like Politoed coming back, Rain might be viable again. Golduck also came back, you know, as a low-tier water type. There's a lot of cool things that DJ can do, and it's terrifying to play against him. Obviously, last season it was a nightmare for me. In the quarterfinals, the only way I could even have a remote chance of beating him was by confusing the hell out of him. But even that didn't work. So DJ is a monster. He's always a threat. He's always a shot to win the league, and that's the scary part for me personally.
Yeah, no, DJ definitely proved himself. What, 2 seasons in a row now. I doubt that's not gonna be the case this season as well. Although twice now he's come so close to like literally taking it all. So, and you know, once you get the taste for it, once you get so close but yet can't quite clench it, that's when it really starts to bug you. That's when you really want it. It's like Fnatic in goddamn League of Legends.
Oh yeah,
they get so close every year.
As a Fnatic fan, I feel that pain.
Yeah, so maybe this will be DJ's season. Who knows? I look forward to it.
I do indeed look forward to it, although I don't look forward to who he has to play this time round, which is going to be me. I'm back. I have to fight him again, which is a bit of a feels bad, man. But you know what? I'm actually kind of excited. I'll let you cover this one, though.
Yep. Not your strongest season compared to season 1, but all in all, definitely one of the top players that to have returning. I mean, we've got quite a healthy amount of like new applicants and also returning players, and I'm just glad to. Am I in your one? I don't think I'm in your one, but spoilers. I'm just glad to not have to fight you just yet. I'm pretty sure it might happen. I can't actually remember.
You might be disappointed in a minute then.
Yeah, I might be disappointed because then again, I do want to kick your ass because
after I 4-0'd you last season.
every draft league, every cage lock, I just seem to get the worst luck versus you. It's season one.
Season
no
one, I
seed flares
4-0'd you due to good luck. Yeah.
No seed flares at all. Cage match, flinches, crits galore. Fucking EDL crits. No, this is my time. I need this.
Oh dear. But either way, of course, back to me though. I think one of my bigger points is the fact that I am consistent. I've made playoffs in 3 seasons out of 3 of the GPL. So I'm always there. I'm always something to watch for. This is a tough group, for sure. Having DJ in my group is not really something you'd kind of want to look forward to when you play these matches because they're always the ones you kind of have that little bit of dread for. But no, I think generally speaking, I'll have a better time this season. Last season was not a good season for me by my own standards. This season I'm going to try and put back what I do best, and we'll see if that works out. But also in our group, 4th pick of the group is going to be an interesting one for me and CallMe with the Mega Quagsires. This one actually is a wild card for me because CallMe, of course, came in at the back end of Season 1, never actually lost a game. The guy was terrifying. The guy almost made playoffs out of a team that should never have even come close. So mechanically, he's a very, very strong player. There's no doubt in my mind. But the question mark is how much of Gen 8 has he played? Because I know he streams. I do know he does stream, but he mostly streams League of Legends. I haven't really seen him play a lot of Pokemon recently. So I don't know how much or like how strong he is. But in terms of his battle mechanics, there's no denying his caliber. It's just how much can we really count Season 1 as a factor 2 seasons down the road in a whole new metagame?
Yeah, and we also bring out as well that he did come in mid-Season 1, where similar to a few other players that we've got in the league where they've sort of joined halfway through the season, toward the end of the season, or just after the start of the season. Another interesting thing to note as well is how is he going to perform starting from the very first week from the draft, getting his own team. I mean, we've seen, say for an example, Pelly. He's come in, not done so well, taking over a team. He's also come in, taken over a team, and made it to the finals. So, begs the question: yes, CallMe has the skill in battle. Does he have the skill to draft? Can he get that team he needs? Does he know how to draft the team that he needs? That's going to be an interesting thing. That's what I'm going to be looking out for.
Yeah, absolutely. I can't wait to face him, because he's wanted to face me for a while. He's said that a lot on my stream. I can't wait to beat you on me, so let's see if we eat his words or not. Alright, but the last pick on the team is going to be Mr. Disappointment. I mean, Denistrio. He's here. He's the last one in the group, and this one, he's largely here because of his low seeding last season. Last season was, quite honestly, nowhere near the level that we know he's at. Denny is a decent player. But there was always that question mark over mental issue. There was that question mark of how much effort he put in. He did admit, and you did admit to me fair and square that you probably didn't put as much effort in as you should have done. So that's going to be one thing that I'm looking for, especially if you're going up against me. I'm not going to let you get away with little effort. That's not going to happen. Neither is DJ. So this is one of those groups where if you really want a redemption and you really want to prove you're up there and not lower down, this is the group to do it in. Like, on paper, I would back you to beat Arvid pretty much any day. But then the other 3 is the big question mark. Where do you go from there? Like, how strong are you actually going to be? But I think this is a strong group, for sure. But I don't think you should ever be written off, in my opinion.
No, I do seem to come across as that kind of wild card. Like, either I'm going to show up and I'm going to do really well and beat, like, Transyl, for an example, or I'm not going to show up and I'm going to end up blowing everything against the person that I was supposed to beat, like Cool, for an example. I don't know. I'm going to put as much effort into this one as I can and see how it goes. I need to redeem myself.
This is definitely a redemption.
This is my redemption arc. I'm like the main character to an anime. Like, I got beat in the battle against the antagonist. Now I need to, like, have a montage and work my way back up.
Yeah, new logo, new Denny. Let's see if it works. Because let's see what happens. And then maybe if it fails this season, you got to rebrand again and see if you can make it better.
I might just pull a shadow and retire.
Yeah. Exactly, he's gonna love that when he sees that. But either way, that's gonna round out the Lugia division. So for the rest of our league in the Ho-Oh division, we are going to start up with Winter. Winter is somebody I actually know nothing about, so this one's over to you.
Winter, or Xanadu, as I know him from Final Fantasy, is part of a group that I'm part of in, again, an MMO that I play. I don't really know much about their battling. I brought up the fact that I run a draft league in my Final Fantasy group, and Xanadu was the very first person to be like, Pokemon. I like Pokemon. So I was like, hey, you want to join? And we got like a spot. Yeah, I'll join. I haven't played any competitive since Gen 6, but I'll do my research. I'm like, okay, this should be very interesting then. So I couldn't really speak much on the battle style. Like, I mean, I'd say she's pretty dang new to the Gen 8. So how she shows up, how she performs, it's going to be her very first draft. I don't even think she knows what draft even is. So it's going to be an interesting one. I mean, who knows? Maybe she'll come out fist flying and start wrecking everyone. Maybe it'll take her a few battles to really adjust to the whole battling style of Draft League.
Especially when it's a difficult switch, difficult transition to make. I do want to see a logo and a team name now. Please get that done.
I have messaged them about that, so they are actually currently working on that, so I can't confirm.
Nice. Right, so joining Winter / Xanadu, whichever you wish to be known by, let us know which one you prefer, and then we'll get that sorted, because that'll make my job easier. But either way, joining her is gonna be Burger. Burger, of course, somewhat unfortunately ruined in the semi-finals by G-Max Lapras, but that's not gonna happen this time round because we got new restrictions on that. But of course, Burger, very, very strong last season. Really, really good showing. We weren't quite sure what we were going to expect from him because, as we've said before, transitioning from the ADL, which is often much more of a casual league compared to this one, which while it is still a casual league, there's a lot more competitive standard. Burger definitely proved himself to be right up there in amongst the better players. Like, he didn't really let up that much at all. Unfortunately, he capitulated in the semi-finals, which was unfortunate for him. But nonetheless, very, very strong showing and definitely worthy of his higher seeding coming into this group draw.
Oh yeah, Burger. This is the guy from season 2 rather, where I started off saying I didn't have a clue what this guy does. I don't know what the hell who he is. And now he's pretty apparent who he is. He's definitely made a name for himself in season 2, and I'm looking forward to season 3. He's I get to fight him in season 3 too, which I rather not, but I'm going to have to. But if I kick his ass, then that makes me really good. So I suppose that'll be a good start in redeeming myself. But hey, Burger, I just really look forward to seeing where this goes. I mean, he's a great battler, great guy.
I want to see how the draft goes, because Burger last season, he actually drafted his picks a day after someone dropped out. So it'd be interesting to see how well he competes in an actual draft and how much like that varies into the factor. Much like with the CallMe as well, like these picks and these players, they didn't actually draft their teams last season. I do know Burger's drafting in other leagues. His drafts are generally relatively decent. They could be all over the place, but they could actually work really well. He's a very aggressive player naturally, so I'll be interested to see how well he matches up to players like DJ, who is notorious for being a lot more calculated aggressive, and myself, of course, much more aggressive player. He did beat me last season, but I threw rather than he won. That's my own fault. But it'll be interesting to see how well he transitions this league. He's in upper seed because he made semi-finals, of course, so definitely worth it. But he is very, very good value for that pick. But next up in the division is going to be Nico. Nico, of course, narrowly missed playoffs last season, literally on differential. That's it. That's how he lost it. But he's a very, very skilled player. I thought his draft was a little inconsistent. He did swap a Dracovish away for his mascot. Not really sure that was a wise decision with how the season played out. But nonetheless, he did play pretty nicely with that Conkeldurr and Obstagoon Guts call that he had going on. It was a really, really interesting offensive draft that he had. He played pretty well. His consistency was a little bit unfortunate. But yeah, I'm really excited to see what he does this season. I'll be interested to see if he does go for Conkeldurr again or if he moves to a different S-tier pick. We'll see how well he drafts this time round. Obviously, as most people who generally join leagues for the first time, they tend to like to draft their mascot. I know I did in GPL Season 0, and I know quite a few other people have. But I think Nico's a very impressive player. He's definitely one I've got my eye on as like one of those dark horse big threats to deal with.
Oh yeah, man. The more I look at our group / conference, the more I don't want to be part of it. But no, happy. Oof, man. I'm lost for words, honestly, at this point. Like, there's just so many great players that we've got now. All together, I mean, we've even increased the amount of people in this league, and there's still so many scary people, and Nico is just one of them. I do like the battle style, and I do really look forward to battling with this guy, because it's gonna be so cool. It's gonna be so good.
That'll be a fun match. I'm looking forward to rematching him as well. I faced him last season, of course. I did narrowly scrape out a win, but it was a narrow one that he could have won. Unfortunately, I got away with my Trick Room G-Max Orbital a little bit more than I should have done because he set up the Trick Room for me. So, yeah, definitely be interesting to rematch him. I'm looking forward to that game. Going to be a tough one, but he's going to be scary, no doubt in my mind. Alright, joining Nico and the rest of the gang is going to be Professor Elm, who currently doesn't have a logo or a guaranteed team name, but he's currently Providence Polyrefs. Professor Elm is someone who is a very, very big dark horse. Now, Professor hasn't played Draft League before, but he has played competitive for a very, very long time in singles format. He's done a lot of Showdown. He's a very, very skilled player. He definitely has a lot of game knowledge to go on. That's going to be the scary part for me. I think there's definitely a lot to come from him. But it'll be interesting to see how much his competitive game knowledge actually transitions into the Draft League format, because it is very different. I always talk about a lot how different Showdown is compared to Draft League. There's a lot of different standards and rules to go by and things like that. So we'll be interested to see how well he makes the transition. But I think if any of the newcomers are going to be a dark horse this time round, it's Professor Elm.
I don't know much about this guy. I've tuned into his streams every so often, and he seems like a great guy. Honestly, I'm going to have to take your word for it in terms of his battle skill. I like I said, know nothing about the guy. But again, like I said, with all the new people that are coming into the league, I love having new people, having fresh blood come in. The last few times we've had fresh blood, either they come out and they surprise everyone, or they come in and they hit that mid-tier card, or they don't do quite as well, but then they come back next season and they do slightly better. I'm really looking forward. If Professor Um's got this battle knowledge, as you say he does, then yeah, maybe he will be a really good contender for the league. And if not, hey, I mean, you've got to start, practicing draft somewhere, and this, could be his gateway into the meta, So
absolutely.
I look forward to it.
Absolutely. And rounding out this division and this league is gonna be Silvie. Oh, the Miami Sylvians. Oh man. Mr. Setup God himself, or should I say Setup Fail? I don't know which one it is, but either way, of course, Silvie coming back again. It's always nice to see him back, just because I want to see what comedic effect he's going to try and go for this time, or how much he's going to be obsessed over Setup and never switch out of Pokemon. I'll be interested to see what actually happens with Silvie. I think he's always going to be fun to play. He's actually one of those that's really awkward to prep for, because he's probably going to do something stupid, but you never know when he's going to do it. So, it's really, really fun to play. He plays like someone who is actually worse than he probably is. But his performances have not shown any reason why he shouldn't be an upper seed. So, at this point in the day, we're looking at, hopefully, this might be the season where Silvie turns up. You never quite know.
Like, at this point, all right, so I've been doing draft now for a while. I've participated in the draft quite a lot. I've run pretty much draft leagues for quite a bit as well. And since I've started running draft leagues, Silvie's been there from day one, and he's going to be there now. Honestly, at this point, it wouldn't feel like I'm doing a draft league without Silvie being there. He does, sometimes he comes and he doesn't do too well. Sometimes he does, mid okay. And even though he never reaches those top ranks like Transyl or DJ, he still always comes back for more, and he always has a good time, and I respect that so much.
Oh yeah, he's a good glutton for punishment, that's for sure.
Yeah, so despite all the memes, despite all the jokes, Silvie, much respect to you, dude. I'm so glad that you came back, and I hope you come back for future seasons. Good luck, and I look forward to our battle. I always do. There's always a good time. There's always good memes.
Yep, Denise Show Silvie week 1 coming right up. Alright.
Oh, you know it.
Yeah.
Spoilers.
Alright, so that rounds out, of course, the Johto Conference. Let's now look into Hoenn. And first up in the Groudon division is going to be Krimpets. Still Mr. Winless, still that one double bust. He's got 9 weeks to see if he can do it this time round. I'm really interested, honestly, in this one, because even though he is effectively bottom seed of the group, the bottom seeds are essentially the first in each group, because that was the easiest way we could start placing people. But Krimpets is someone who did improve from Season 1 to Season 2. Like, his decision-making definitely got a lot better. His draft was a lot simpler, but in my opinion, too simple. So I would like to kind of see him draft a team that has multiple threats to it, rather than just rely on Duraludon and Darmanitan, which, oh, don't get me wrong, are both fantastic Pokemon to draft around, but it's very one-dimensional and pretty easy to predict. Last season, he brought the same team, I think, like 5 weeks in a row, which made it very easy to prep for him, and stuff like that. So I do want to see him draft a bit more, because in the first time he came in, he drafted too much. He drafted too many things that he didn't even know about. I told him Trick Room, and he was like, what the hell is a Trick Room? Right, so he didn't really know that much. Last season, too simple. I want to see that middle ground, and I want to see how well he plays with it, because I think if he's got multiple threats to work with, I think he'll be very strong.
Okay, so Krimpets, he showed so many signs, so many good. Like, I remember this season distinctively because at the start of every single game, I'm thinking this is the one. He's made that predict. He's done that play. He's killed that Pokemon, and he always seems to have a good, strong start. And especially last season, not so much the season before. I think he just needs to find Pokemon that he knows how to use. I think every draft so far, he's drafted something and he has no idea how to use it, right? And it takes him until pretty much until it's too late for him to really start working out his Pokemon that he's got. I think he needs to draft something he knows, something he can be comfortable with, consistent with, and just work on it from there. And I'm pretty sure if that's the case, then he will get his win. Just stop trying new stuff. Maybe look into some Pokemon before you decide to draft something. Do some random battles on Showdown, even just to get a little taste of what Pokemon are, what they do, or their typing, or the abilities. Just do a little bit of research, find something that you like, and draft it and work with it, and I think you'll be fine.
Absolutely. All right. Joining Krimpets is going to be EXO. He's finally not in the same group as me, which he's celebrating about. But yeah, EXO, of course, made the final and actually won the final last season. He was last season's champion. Last season definitely suited him format-wise. Despite how much he whinged about getting sniped, he did actually post on his update video. He posted an entire list of notepad Pokemon of the things that he wanted, and there's apparently about 40 odd picks that got sniped from him. If I'm being honest, I want to see him modify his draft strategy. I don't want to see things like that, because that's why you whinge about getting sniped, and that ruins your mentality. I would much rather see a lot better pre-draft planning, and then we'll see how well he goes. Because the less he whinges about getting sniped, the better it gets. Right? I think, generally speaking, I want to see his draft be pretty solid. That's something that his draft at the start of last season was near the bottom of the rankings for a reason. It wasn't particularly cohesive. And then he made the changes, and then look what happened, right? But then, so this season, I want to see him turn up from week 1. I want to see if he can actually pull it together, because obviously he is the one that's being hunted as the reigning champion. So now he's kind of got to set the standard to prove that he deserves to be there. In that format, it's a different format now. There's a lot more picks that are going to be heavily contested. So we'll see how well he gets on this time around.
Like you said, he is the defending champion, so he does have some reputation now to uphold. Listen, EXO, I got the perfect advice for you here, and this is something I've gone by for the longest time. Is it something I'm going to continue to go by? Maybe, but every single draft, I always give everyone the same advice. If you don't have a plan, you can't get sniped, okay?
Exactly.
And that's just how it really comes down to. I'm not saying I don't have any idea what you want, because we need to get through the draft process somehow, all right? Just pick something and go, okay, I need this now. Oh, I might need this. But hey, who am I to judge you what came when you won last season? So you know what, wherever you maybe get sniped, maybe each snipe makes you stronger. I don't know. I'm a firm believer of that. So
I should have changed his name to EXO Sniped from last time. Should have done that. I didn't think about it. I just thought about it just now. Feels bad, man.
it just goes to show how good of a player Exo really is of adapting on the spot. He got a team that he wasn't quite happy with, maybe not quite as comfortable with. He had a rocky start. He quickly recomposed himself, got some more Pokemon, and well, it just showed how flexible he is with those lower tiers, how just general flexible he is as a player, and his sort of thought process. And all in all, just a really strong player. And do I think he can pull it out in season 2? I think in season 3, season 3 is going to be one of the toughest seasons we've ever had.
For sure.
But you know what? I didn't see him get into season 2 finals last season.
No, I don't think anyone did, to be fair.
So who knows what happens in season 3, you know?
We shall have to see. But joining them in the group is going to be Solo, who I think is probably the biggest threat to EXO by far. Solo, of course, known for his aggressive play last season. I think he drafted a team that was way outside of his comfort zone. He basically said himself he threw a lot of games because he wasn't sure, or he felt too tied to Dracovish win conditions, which absolutely was the case with that team. Every time you do draft Dracovish, which is actually banned this season, so definitely a very big shift for the game. But nonetheless, I feel like Solo disappointed himself more than anybody else, but he's going to go back to a Season 1 aggression for sure. That aggressive playstyle definitely almost won the final of GPL Season 1. He got pretty unlucky to lose it. I think that's the Solo I expect to see this season, and I wouldn't be surprised if EXO got dethroned. I wouldn't be surprised if Solo's on the top spot.
Solo, my buddy, my partner in EDL, definitely an aggressive player. I see that in just all of our team building process. One of the running jokes versus you was, let's gonna choice scarf Lucario. And we were honestly, we were just considering just leaving close combat on there and no other moves. Just one move.
Solo was actually talking about close combat bullet punch. That's literally all they were gonna run. All you're gonna run. Yeah. And then put agility and sword stance as your next 2 moves.
It's like in the play in team building, we'll be like, all right, I think we could do this. I think we could do that. He's like, yeah, let's just tweak this policy and fuck him up. I'm like, oh, okay.
Good old Solo. Never change.
He's so aggressive, but if you can play aggressive and make it work, then it pays off so well. And I think Solo definitely has that kind of mentality of being able to do that. The only issues I do see with Solo is more so in Season 2, where as soon as that tilt starts to overcome, then he does tend to sort of lose his edge a little bit.
He chokes.
However,
simple as. That's why we call him Choco Destroyer, for a reason. There's a good reason for that. By his own admission, he threw a bunch of games. But yeah, it's definitely an interesting one. It'll be interesting to see what he drafts, and if he goes back to the playstyle that he's good at, or does he try something else that he's just gonna end up folding. There is Dry Pass this season, so no more double into burning Dracovish and stuff like that. So yeah, we'll see how well he goes, but I'm definitely looking forward to him. I think he's always a threat, no matter what. Alright, so joining those guys is going to be Tyler. Tyler, honestly, I'll be brutally honest, he disappointed last season. I expected more from him. I did say he was a dark horse. I expected him to make playoffs, and he didn't make it. A lot of the big concerns with him comes from his attitude. I felt very disappointed by the way that he just tilts and kind of loses games by poor mentality. And then alongside that, once Professor wasn't finessing his team builds, we definitely saw a lot of fragility there, which we wouldn't have expected based on the start of the season. So going into this season, I'm expecting 2 things. I'm expecting a better mentality, and I'm expecting refinement in his team building. That's what I'm expecting to see. If we don't see that, I won't be surprised if he misses playoffs again. But if we do see that, he could well make playoffs in this group. I think this group is something that he should be looking at as an opportunity to prove himself against, and this is a good way to do it.
I think, yeah, you're right, and I think he did have some really good highlights last season where he showed up and he played immensely, and then other times he showed up and it was like somebody else had come and played the game for him. I'm not sure which one is the real Tyler. I feel like there's definitely a tilt mentality to it. However, I mean, week 1 versus you, great. Yeah, sure, maybe Professor did have some help in team building, but he played the match himself, And not to say as well that he did also dethrone, I think, Burger from going undefeated in groups, and he did that himself too. So he definitely has the potential of, I think if he sits down and takes his time, thinks over things, and plays to the ability, the capacity that he can, then he's a threat. But if he doesn't, if he rushes, if he just assumes, or if he thinks, oh yeah, this is a match I should just win, then obviously the Tyler of old is going to show up and is just going to flop. Definitely maybe not as strong of a group as he was in last time, so it's going to be interesting to see how he can adapt to it. But he does have some big threats, so it's still going to be a tricky one. All in all, though, I'm looking forward to it. I'm glad he's back, honestly, because I want to see more of Tyler. I know he can do it.
Yep, I want to see the better Tyler that I have seen before. Alright, and rounding up the ground-on division is going to be Poker, someone we actually didn't know too much about until about 2 hours before recording this video. Poker is actually one of Burger's friends. Burger actually did say that there's not a huge amount that we do know, but it's very inconsistent, so I'll be very interested to see how he transitions to this league. Obviously, complete unknown entities are always difficult to predict. We didn't really know where to put Poker at all, but I do like the logo, I have to admit. That's always a selling point for me, is a nice looking logo. But nah, all jokes aside though, I think honestly inconsistency is always going to be the hard one to judge. Because much like with Tyler, like complete inconsistency, you could be consistently garbage or consistently top tier, or just consistently inconsistent all over together. I said consistent so many times, someone count that. But either way, I think it's going to be interesting to see how he adapts. This is an interesting group for him to be in. I would say, generally speaking, this would be a tough group for someone who's not at a particularly super confident level, but at the same time, we don't know. We simply don't know what to expect, and that's going to be the interesting thing for me, which means I'll be keeping a very close eye on the first few weeks especially.
Oh yeah, 100%. I don't know anything about this guy, and like you said, none of us knew anything about this guy until about 2 hours ago. Although, again, I love new fresh meat to have.
Hell yeah.
So I hope you enjoy. Good luck. I hope you GPL is everything that you hope it to be, because I know you've been in the Discord now for a while actually. And yeah, good luck and have fun.
Alright, so rounding into the final division then, the Kyogre division. First up is going to be Ted for Prez. Ted is somebody I know from my stream and also from Professor Elm's stream. From what I know, he doesn't have the hugest amount of experience in competitive, but he does have some pretty decent ideas of the game. He does talk relatively well about competitive stuff in Professor Elm's and my streams from time to time, but it's very, very difficult to play someone who's not played a lot of draft, so it'd be interesting to see what happens. But he definitely would be, of the newcomers, probably one of the lesser players, but it will be very interesting to see how he adapts and how well he fits into a league, which is pretty stacked. It's a very, very tough league to start the first one in, but you never quite know what you're going to get. We'll be interested to see what happens from him.
Yeah, I literally know nothing about the guy. All I know is he's hyped. That makes me hyped.
Same.
I mean, he's got that hot logo, you know, and I like Talonflame. He likes Talonflame, you know, it's respectable. I'm not sure what to expect from this guy, and you know, I'm quite looking forward to seeing what he's the table. So good luck, and I hope you also enjoy your stay at the GPL.
Absolutely. I'm just sad that I don't get to play him, because that would be a fun match. But no. Either way, rounding into the second part of the Kyogre division is going to be Pelly, of course, beaten finalist. Doesn't have a logo, although he did actually have a logo before when he did Season 1, I think, or Season 2, whichever. But yeah, interesting to see. Be very, very interested to see where he goes this time round. Obviously, he took over a very, very strong team and made it to the finals. Be interested to see what happens. This is the first time that he's actually playing a league from the beginning. When it comes to the GPL, he took over in 1 and 2. We'll be interested to see what happens and how the draft goes for Pelly and how much that factors in. He definitely showed that he has some decent skills. Even if he brings relatively similar stuff, he still does pretty well. He's very strong. So I'll be interested to see what happens, but I'm looking forward to it either way.
Yeah, no. Pelly, with Season 1, wasn't too great. Rushed all his games out. So he comes back in Season 2, takes the league by storm, gets to the finals, clutching some really good wins, some really good sweeps, some surprising moves here and there. Even taking EXO to game
3, yeah.
Game 3, that's right. The dude's one of the biggest wild cards I know. I'm really, really looking forward to seeing how he performs, how he does in season 3. Like again, like you said, it's going back to the whole thing. He's also now going to be starting from week 1 from the draft itself. So how does he draft? What will he draft? I mean, I know he likes his wild cards. I mean, he's got plenty of room, plenty of ways to experiment given the draft format now. Even more so that we are now splitting the groups. So now he's got even more toys to play with. So I'm just looking forward to seeing what kind of stuff he's got in his little Mad Hatter.
Absolutely. All right. Joining these guys is going to be Transyl, a really, really strong pick. It's always surprising to see Transyl in a lesser seed, but having crashed out of quarterfinals, that's just the way it goes. But this is a very, very fun one. I can't wait to see Transyl versus Pelly. That's going to be such a fun match. I'm definitely going to look forward to that. I wonder how much smack talk Pelly's going to talk at the start of this game. It's going to be a lot of banter to be had. But Transyl, of course, he's going to be out for revenge, of course. I think season 1. He's not going to want to have the same downturn that he had last season. But he is a very, very tough opponent, of course. He went undefeated in the regular season, so he's definitely not going to let up at all. He's going to be one of those players that you look at in the schedule and think, I don't really feel like playing him this week, but at the same time, you know, he is beatable. He has been beaten before, so we'll see what happens. Hopefully we'll see some of the vintage Transyl magic that we've seen already.
Yeah, Transyl is never really going to be that kind of guy where you sit there and go, oh, this is pretty weak.
Unless you're Denisio, who was 2-0 up on him one time.
Yeah, and I'm never going to let him live that down despite one of the games being a meme match. We have now, ever since it's drawn, we are now 2-2, unfortunately, and we might not even get a chance to really sort of settle that score in this season since we are in opposite sides of the field this time. However, Transyl always proven himself to be a strong player. Or essentially, if he loses, it's generally because of one bad mistake that could have been helped, like in his match versus me forgetting about the misty terrain when trying to use the Z Dragon move, for an example.
Yeah.
Or even if not that, maybe a crit or a flinch. It's really hard to say. Like it all really just comes down to those sort of like really small details. He's a hell of a player. I don't know where the hell he came from either, but he's a hell of a player.
Pokemon was where he came from. Played a lot of P1 mana.
Jesus. He's so long, dude. But you know, is this the season where he's dethroned? Is this the bad season? Does my luck run off on him? Who knows?
Who knows?
I'm looking forward to it, regardless of how it goes, though. And we all know our favorite catchphrase. Please nerf Transyl. Is this the one? Is this the one where we nerf him? Let's find out.
Alrighty. We nerfed him off the throne. Now we got to nerf him out of playoffs. Easy clap. Right? Just kidding. Alright, it's coming in. It's going to be Galaxy Bomb, Exo's partner, of course, in the EDL. Actually, an interesting prospect. I think Galaxy, as Exo has pointed out, is actually a very, very good team builder. But where he's let down a few times is his battle mechanics. So that's going to be an interesting one. Obviously, if his team building is strong and his battle mechanics is not at the best, that doesn't generally translate too well in Draft League. The battles are very, very tough as it is. So I'll be interested to see where he does fit into this. I would definitely say he's one of those middle-of-the-pack potential dark horses for playoffs. But obviously, we're going to need to see those battle mechanics. Obviously, he's playing on his own. He doesn't have Exo guiding him, much like he does in the partner leagues. So that's going to be very, very interesting to see how well he adapts to playing by himself. He could either completely flop and just lose his battles mechanically, or he could actually be improving very, very quickly. So this is an interesting one to watch for me.
Yeah, don't know the guy all that well. From what I do know of him in EDL, he's a pretty cool guy to talk to. I think I've battled him essentially once in the tag tournament when I partnered with Shadow, and I think we do get to fight him next week, which is going to be fun. But gauging his sort of solo play as a single player without a tag partner, because I know Exo is probably mostly the driving force. Team building wise, yeah, it sounds like from what Exo has described to us that he's got the team building mentality. Maybe his battle mentality isn't as strong, but hey, this is his pretty much opportunity to strengthen that sort of resolve. And who knows, maybe he might not have a great season, but I'm sure he's going to come out of it on the end a much better battler. and who knows, maybe next season he'll become one of the top end players. Who knows?
You never know.
Yeah. So anyway, welcome to the league, and I hope you have fun too, Galaxy.
Right, and the last pick of the league and the last pick of the announcement is gonna be Skinny Biscuit with one of the most amusing logos I've seen in a while. I have to be honest with the Chunky Chicorators. This one excites me actually. Skinny is Mr. Inconsistent. Like, the guy is the commissioner of the ADL. He's actually a very, very good player at his best. But the problem is there's so many times when he's been at his best, and then there's so many times where he hasn't turned up. And like, the problem with that, of course, is when you're inconsistent in a league as stacked as this one, you really are going to be found wanting. So what I'm looking forward to see from Skinny is not only that amusing logo, of course. I'm quite glad I don't have to put this on my layout for too much longer until the Pick'ems and Power Rankings come out.
It's great. I love it.
Oh dear. But either way, though, I do think it's fun. Skinny is a really, really nice guy. Very, very fun player. He doesn't really tilt, which is the nice thing. He does have a decent attitude and mentality. But it'll be interesting to see where he stacks in terms of the GPL players. Because, of course, this is a tough league. We've said this quite a few times this video, but it is probably the hardest league we've had in terms of player level. There's a lot of talent in this league, so I'm interested to see where Skinny stacks up.
Yeah, Skinny, I just want you to let you know, if this tournament, this draft league was based on best logos, you'd win it, hands down. All right, I love the logo. Was he the commissioner of the EDL?
He's the ADL commissioner, yeah.
That one, yeah. I really need to get in on that one at some point. But all in all, I don't really know much about your battling. I think I battled you once in a tournament. No, in a Discord that I was part of this one time. This sort of gym leader one, but I kind of left that one. But it's nice to have you. I hope you enjoy your stay at the GPL again. I love the logo. Anything Chikorita, especially chunky Chikorita. Dude, I can't stop looking at it and smiling. I love it so much. But yeah, welcome aboard. We look forward to having you. We look forward to see how you do. Good luck. It's going to be a tough challenge for everyone. Good luck to everyone out there, actually, because you're going to need it.
Oh, yeah. Especially you. But either way, right? Of course, that is going to round out all of the leagues. Just to make it clear, from here on out, the videos will be separated into two. So we are going to have a Johto Pick'ems Power Rankings and a Hoenn Pick'ems Power Rankings. This just makes the videos a little bit shorter because, you know, Denny, me, and Transyl, we like to talk. You know, we like to actually give you guys decent analysis to work from. So either way, that's going to round out the groups. Hope you guys look forward to the group stages. The draw will be announced relatively soon. We don't have a date for that yet, but that will be worked on, especially after this video it goes out. So look forward to that. Hope to see you all in draft. Hope you all get sniped except me, because you know what? That's just the way the fun goes. Nah, I'm joking. But either way, of course, that's going to round out our draw announcement. Good luck, have fun for the season, guys. But either way, thank you so much for watching. My name is Bombi Teacher. That's Denistrio.
Have a good one, guys. I see you in season 3 for the draft, I suppose. Have a good one. Good luck. Bye.
Stay safe, stay awesome, and we'll catch you guys next time. Take care.